Good morning and welcome to the most awaited webinar on the IPO SBI Cards. We have with us Mr. Deepak Jasani, who heads the research retail with HDFC Securities Limited. He will be sharing his insights and views about the IPO, and I hope that all you who logged in to this webinar will take advantage of this webinar and get an insight about the most awaited IPO. Welcome, Mr. Jasani.
Thanks.
Okay, we have a quick poll, and I will have Mr. Ashish Asthana take up from here.
Sure. Thank you so much, Sharmila. Good morning all, and thank you for joining this exclusive webinar and the most awaited webinar in fact. So Deepak sir, before we set the session for the day, I have quick polls for our investors. So let us know your understanding on this. So this first poll will be on your screen now. You just have to press yes or no. Have you ever invested in IPOs before? So this is the poll on your screen. You just have to put yes or no and then click on submit. This poll will be on for next 20 more seconds. So quite interesting participation we are getting out here. And poll is about to close. And let me share the results. So the results will be on your screen now. So Deepak sir, about 52% of our investors have already invested in IPOs, but still a massive 48% of them have not yet invested in IPOs, right? So now let me also quickly take another poll. Are you aware about SBI Cards IPO? Have you heard about this before? So this will be on your screen now. Again, this will be on for next 20 seconds. Poll is about to close. Great participation again. And here are the results. So this will be on your screen now. So about 88% majority of them are aware about SBI Cards IPO, but still about 12% of investors who are watching us right now, they are not aware. And 48% of them have not even invested in IPOs before. So with this data point, Deepak sir, I hand over to you so that you can take the session accordingly.
Great, Ashish. Thank you for that poll that you've just taken. We now start our webinar. We welcome Mr. Deepak Jasani. Mr. Jasani, now since a lot of our customers also we've seen that they've not invested in IPOs earlier, and so can you share some IPO details about SBI Cards?
Sure. Good morning to everyone. SBI Cards is coming out with an IPO between 2nd March to 4th March for QIBs and 2nd March and 5th March for other participants, which normally includes retail and HNI. The price band is 750 to 755. In all probability, it is likely to be fixed at 755. Employees will get a discount of ₹75 per share. The issue size is 13.7 crore shares, which includes 66 lakhs of fresh issue and 13.05 crores of offer for sale by the existing shareholders, which is Carlyle Group and SBI. The issue size thus works out at between 10,300 to 10,350 crores. There is a reservation for various categories. Employees reservation is about 18.6 lakh shares. Shareholders of SBI have a reservation of 1.3 crore shares. Of the balance, QIB has a 50% reservation. HNI has about 15% and retail has about 35% reservation. The face value of the share is ₹10. Book value is 51.7 as of December 31st. The bid size is 19 shares and in multiples thereof. It is a 100% book build issue. The pre-issue equity capital is 932 crores, 932.33 crores. And the post-issue equity will become 938.95 crores. Shareholding pattern-wise, pre the issue, these promoters, that is SBI, was holding 74%, whereas Carlyle was holding 26%. Post the issue, SBI will hold about 69.5% and Public and Carlyle will hold about 30.5%. So this is the basic information about the IPO.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Jasani. Mr. Jasani, now can you share us the triggers to the industry of the credit cards?
Sure. Now, India's GDP is expected to grow by 6.3% in FY20 and 7.3% over the next 5 years as per CRISIL. Now, whenever income grows, the disposable income also rises in proportion. When disposable income rises, the consumption expenditure also rises. So, again, as per CRISIL, the private final consumption expenditure is expected to rise by 7.5% over FY19 to FY24. With rising urbanization, nuclearization, and increased willingness to take debt, and increasing data from credit bureaus, increasing leverage of data analytics, retail credit is expected to continue to grow at a very fast pace. However, India's domestic credit as a proportion of GDP is one of the lowest among the large countries. It is just 72% of GDP, higher than only Indonesia and Russia, but much lower than US, which is 103%, China, which is 218%, and Japan, which is 282%. Now, within retail credit, unsecured loans, which includes credit cards, personal loans, and durable loans, is a strong driver. So this has risen at a CAGR of 28% to 5 trillion rupees. Now, for most millennials, that is young working population, unsecured loans will be the first form of credit which they take. And within unsecured credit, I think credit card is one of the first way to tap credit for these people. Credit cards outstanding, which is the book, is expected to grow at 23% over the next 5 years as per CRISIL again. Now, if we look at debit cards, there are a lot of debit cards across. We have debit card penetration is about 66% in India, whereas credit card penetration is just 3%. So this shows the amount, the potential of coverage of credit card going forward. Now, credit card as compared to debit card give additional benefit by way of interest-free line of credit for up to 50 days, reward points, and also dispute mechanism which is in place. Now, the other form of digital payments, that is UPI, is also steadily gaining ground. But credit cards continue to find favor with the users because of the benefits which I just mentioned a couple of seconds back. Now, in terms of volumes, digital payments is also expected, has grown by about 49% over the last 5 years and will continue to grow going forward. And within that, credit card also will have a very large share. Now, the e-commerce industry is also a big driver of credit card usage. Now, this has grown at about 23% and will continue to grow at a similar pace going forward. Now, credit cards in India is an evolving industry with about 5 crore credit card holders roughly, which are allotted to 3.2 crore unique individuals. So there is overlap. Some people have 2 cards, some people have 3 cards. Overall loans outstanding is about 1 lakh crores, which is just 1.2% of the system credit, and 3% spends per as compared to the GDP. Now, this is as compared to other countries like South Korea has 37%, US has 18%, and Brazil, a developing country like Brazil, also has 13% spends to GDP ratio. So all this shows that there is a lot of for the credit card industry generally. There are about 74 players in the industry, including the top 4, which are HDFC, SBI, Axis, and ICICI Bank. Now, these hold about 72% market share in terms of outstanding credit cards and 66% in terms of credit card spends. Now, also it is noteworthy that so far banks are only allowed to issue credit cards. There are only 2 exceptions to this: SBI cards and Bob cards. Going forward, we don't see such exception being made in future. NBFCs like Bajaj Finance are also aiming to be credit card issuers, and they have been trying to get permission from the regulators. So far, they have not succeeded. But going forward, we think only players with very large customer base can make some sort of an impact on the industry. Otherwise, it is going to be very tough for a new player. Upfront expenses are very large, and the gestation period for building scale remains very high. So only large, serious players can come into the business and pose any sort of competition to the existing players. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So now this was for a general credit card. Can you share some triggers for SBI cards?
Sure. Now, SBI was incorporated in 1998 as a joint venture between SBI and G Capital. Now, G Capital subsequently sold out its shares, and Carlyle has come in as a partner to SBI. SBI Cards is a subsidiary of State Bank of India, which is the largest bank in India. Currently, SBI Cards is the second largest credit card issuer in India. Now, SBI Cards has grown its business faster than the market over the last 2 years, both in terms of number of cards issued and also the cards spent. Now, this has grown by 35% and 54% respectively over the last 2 years. So, its market share has also grown to about 18% in both the categories versus 15 and 11% a couple of years back. Now, it offers a whole range of portfolio of cards, about 46 different types of cards, with 40% of these cards being premium, which is the second highest in the industry. So this shows that the focus of the company is on premium customers. 48% of the cards issued are through the SBI banking distribution channel, whereas 52% are from open market. This is done through 145 cities. Now, such a large proportion of acquisition from open market is also unique. This shows the aggression of the company to acquire new customers, not just from the bank, but also from the open market. Currently, only 2.2% of the SBI's bank account holders own SBI credit card. So this also shows a lot of potential within the banking customer itself. And this can so all this can mean that the credit card base can grow by about 25% over the next 3 to 5 years, and the loan book can grow a little faster than that. Now, the financials of SBI have also grown at a very robust pace. Revenue growth has been at a CAGR of 45% over 17 to 19, and PAT growth has been even faster at 52%. Going forward, higher spending on the credit cards and increasing use of EMI facility will drive interest income for the company. Return on asset, which is a very important factor to be tracked for such companies, has improved from 4% in FY17 to 6.6% in 9 months of FY20. Though the company has mentioned that this may be unusually high, and they are planning to maintain in the ratio in the range of 4.5 to 5%. ROE also has improved from 25.7% in FY17 to 33.6% in FY19. SBI Cards incidentally also has the highest market share in terms of incremental cards in force for different periods. So it shows that recently it has become very aggressive over the last 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. So it is grabbing a higher and higher share of the new cards which are being issued. For SBI Group as a whole, card loans are less than 1% of its overall loan book. Now, this compares with 2.5% in case of ICICI Bank and Axis Bank, and about 6% for HDFC Bank. This again shows the amount of potential of growth of the loans, credit card loans, which can happen in the case of SBI Cards. SBI Cards has the full support of its parent SBI. SBI, as we all know, is the largest commercial bank in terms of deposits, advances, and number of branches, close to 22,000 as of September 30. And the SBI Cards also has access to SBI's logo, personnel, infrastructure, referrals, etc. In fiscals 19, 18, and 17, the new accounts acquired from SBI Bank accounted for 55%, 45%, and 35% respectively of the total new cards issued. So it shows that while on the open market it is very aggressive, it is also aggressive in tapping the existing potential within the SBI banking customers. So another important ratio to focus is capital adequacy, capital risk asset weighted ratio. Now for SBI, it is very healthy at 19.2%, out of which tier 1 is 15%. Minimum required are 15 and 10% respectively. And going forward also, the growth in network is going to be in line with the growth in loan book. So it may not have to raise equity capital in the near future to finance the growing business. The company earns income from two sources. One is interest income and the other is fee income. So interest income is basically income from whatever loans or the revolving credit that the customers are availing of, and fee income is intercharge fees and subscription fees and such like. So currently the ratio of both is about 50-50, which is also very healthy. Yeah.
Mr. Jasani, with so many positives, do you see any risk in these credit cards with SBI?
Yeah, so of course there are some risks involved, and we should be aware of that before we take any decisions. Now, credit card business involves a lot of high operating expenses compared to other retail businesses. Number one. Number two, it also has NPA, that is non-performing accounts or bad debts as we call. The gross NPA has been about 2.47% as in December, and net NPA is about 0.83%. Of course, these are not very alarming levels. These are normal routine levels, but these can fluctuate in bad times. Now, most of these loans are unsecured. Whichever loans are being taken, about 98 to 99% of these are unsecured. So there is no way that SBI can follow or realize security in bad times to recover their money. Merchant discount rate is a big portion of their fee income. Government has abolished that for other digital payments, including the debit cards, and there is a fear that this may also extend to credit cards. But we think that because credit card is a different instrument which gives free credit for 50 days and rewards, etc., etc., abolition or removing MDR may not happen. Of course, reduction in MDR is possibility. So in case that happens, the income of SBI cards can come down. Asset quality of SBI, that is NPAs, can fluctuate basically depending on the GDP growth. If the GDP growth reduces or job growth also does not keep pace, then probably there can be higher bad debts or higher NPAs. Other important thing to track is the spend per card. Now, lately across the industry, we are seeing that the spend per card is falling. So now that needs to reverse for the company to keep growing. They have to increase the number of credit card issued, plus they have to also focus on increasing the spends per card. The company will not be able to diversify into any new businesses because SBI has multiple subsidiaries which are engaged in different businesses. So in case the company falls on bad times for credit cards, it will not be able to compensate that by going into any other businesses. Plus the NBFCs, if they are issued license for credit cards going forward, we will see fresh competition in addition to the existing competition which is already prevalent in the industry.
Thank you, Mr. Jasani, for those risks that you just mentioned. So we see that this issue is priced at 750 to 755. So how do you think is this issue priced? I mean, what are your takes on it?
Yeah, so now SBI cards could be one of the main beneficiaries of the rising trend of digital payments and e-commerce. Now at 755 rupees, the offer is valued at 12.8 times FY20 book value on annualized and fully diluted basis, and 45.8 times FY20 expected EPS. Strong growth, stable asset quality, and superior return ratios provides comfort and may have led to a little increase in the valuation which the company is demanding. On the other hand, it is a first issue from the first pure play issue from the credit card industry. So this could attract fancy from a lot of investors, including institutional investors. There could be scarcity premium, and the free float market cap is just 10,300 crores based on the issue price. So these are the other reasons why the valuation may be justified by the company, going by the trend of recent listings, which have seen a rise in price post listing also.
Mr. Jasani, as an investor, what is the strategy that he needs to adopt while applying in this IPO?
Sure. So now there are three categories which we can talk about. One is retail. Retail means people who are applying for less than 2 lakh rupees. Now the issue needs 22.5 lakh applicants at the lower lot, that is 19 shares each, for one-time subscription. Now HDFC AMC IPO, which came in July 2018, got about 23.8 lakh applications. Hence, retail investors, if they are convinced about the issue, could think of applying a minimum of 2 lots. That is, instead of 19 shares, they can apply for 38 shares. So this can improve their chance of allotment while blocking minimum money. SBI shareholders is the second category. Now here, shareholders of SBI, there is a reservation of 1.3 crore shares, as I discussed earlier. Investors who have SBI shares in their demat account on 18th of February will be eligible to apply in this category. Now, there were 18.2 lakh shareholders of SBI as of December 2019. And post that, there may be some more additions. So, in the HDFC AMC issue, some 99,000 shareholders had applied in that category out of some 2.48 lakh shareholders. Now, though theoretically chances of getting an allotment in the shareholders category is less than that in the retail category, if one is convinced about the issue, one can still take a chance and apply for maximum possible in this category, subject to liquidity available, as one is blocking the money for just about a week. The third category is HNI. In HDFC AMC IPO, about 72,000 crore rupees were put into HNI category, which resulted in 195 times oversubscription. Now, in SBI Cards issue, a one-time subscription in the HNI category would require 1384 crores. A similar subscription of 72,000 crores would result in 73 times oversubscription for SBI's HNI category. Interest cost for leveraged application would come to 1.88 rupees for 7 days at 13% per annum. So you can do your calculation, you can do your maths, you can track the subscription on a day-to-day basis, and then go for application in the HNI category. So this is broadly the strategy that one can follow.
Okay, great, thank you. I just hope that the investors, take this opportunity and this information on how they would want to invest in this particular IPO. So everybody who is attending this webinar, we're open to question and answers. So
yeah, but before that, I think let us go to Ashish. He will explain as to how one can apply online through HSL platform.
Oh, great.
Sure,
Ashish?
Definitely. I'll just take you through how you can apply online. So I will share my computer screen. It is very simple and easy. You just have to log on to our website, that's www.hdfcsec.com. Click on login button, enter your credentials, and that's how you will get logged into Empowered Trading Portal, right? So up here you can see this option as IPOs. The first option is IPO. Then you need to click on it. The moment you click on it, at present there are no IPOs, so it is blank. So there you will see option of SBI Cards IPO. You can simply click on apply and enter your bid, enter your quantities in multiples of the lot size, and you are good to go. In fact, here I would also like to highlight that from our mobile application, IPO application is just, you can apply an IPO in 3 simple clicks. So if you haven't yet downloaded our mobile trading app, you can simply go to Play Store, type in HDFC Securities mobile trading app, and you can download it. From mobile app in just 3 simple clicks. In fact, we have 2 options there, a quick apply and a normal apply. A quick apply will take 1 lot at cutoff price just in a click of a button, and your bid would be applied. And also, if you want to go into the HNI category or you want to increase the multiple lot size, you can do the same on our mobile platform as well as on our web platform. So now we are up for Q&A, and Deepak sir, quite a huge list of questions are here.
Ashish, I hope you had shared the screen with the viewers.
Yes, I have shared the screen with the viewers. I have shown.
Do it again?
Yes, sure. I'm getting few questions again on that. How to apply? Can you show that again? So I'll do that once again. Yeah, so this is how the logged in section will look like, right? Once you enter your credentials, and you need to click on this option, which is 5th option, IPO/OFS, and here you have the first icon of IPO. Since currently there are no IPOs ongoing, the screen is blank, but here you will be seeing the IPO, SBI Cards IPO, and at the last section, in this section where I'm moving my cursor, you will have an option of apply. The moment you click on apply, a quick panel window will open, which is self-explanatory in nature. You have to enter your bid price, you have to enter your quantities in multiple of lot size, which is in multiples of 19, and just you need to make 2 more clicks, confirm to confirm it, and your order will be successfully placed. Post that, you can again, if you want to see what is the status of your application, you can go to IPO/OFS again. Under the report section, we have an option called as order book. So under the order book, here it will be displayed what is the status of the same. If you get allocated, the IPO gets allocated to you, you will be able to see the number of quantities applied and the number of quantity allotted.
Yeah, so and Ashish, one more thing, I think there will be 2 drop downs, one for SBI retail and one for SBI shareholders. So you will have to go to the respective drop downs, I think.
That's right, sir. So since at present it is not in display, but yes, we are getting quite questions also for the same on that category of shareholder. We have one question coming in from Mr. Chahat Singh. He is asking, I have SBI shares, but I bought it on 24th of Feb. Can I apply under the shareholder category?
So you should have the shares in your Demat account on 18th of February. So in case you don't have it on that day, then you are not eligible to apply.
Okay, great.
Other questions?
Another question.
Ashish, can you have a question for us?
Sure. Sorry.
Some more questions?
Some more questions?
Yeah, sure. I'm reading out. Next question coming from Mr. Vijay. He's asking, I am applying continuously in IPOs, but I am not getting any allotment.
Yeah, so basically now that depends on your luck. I hope there are no technical grounds on which your application is being rejected. So you will have to keep doing that. So once you are lucky, maybe you can increase the amount of application. Instead of doing the minimum lot, you can increase a little more, say 2 lots, 5 lots, 10 lots, and then try your luck again. So whenever you become lucky, you will start getting the allotment. And in any case, your money stays in your bank account because of ASBA. You are not losing any interest also. So I think that is the best. There is no downside of applying. There could only be upside, provided you are applying the right IPOs. So I think you should continue to try your luck.
Absolutely. Next question we are getting from Mr. Basav Raj. He is asking, I am holding an SBI bank account. Will I come under the shareholder category?
Yeah. So SBI Bank is SBI only. Holding
no,
bank
account.
Bank account holders are not eligible because SBI has crores of accounts, savings account. So if they start giving to all the bank account holders, then I think it will be impractical to do, and even SEBI regulations don't permit that. So only shareholders are eligible, and bank account holders are not eligible.
Right. So few questions we are getting on the allocation part, how much it has been allocated for general public and how much it is allocated to HNI.
Yeah, so I mentioned that at the beginning. I think QIB is about 50% of the balance after you reduce your employee and shareholders. So 13.7 crores is the total size, out of which 1.32 crores is goes towards employees and shareholders. So the rest, out of the rest, 50% for QIB, 35% for retail, and 15% for HNI.
Right. So another question, quite interesting question we are getting from Mr. Nitesh. He is asking, can SBI shareholders apply in both shareholder category and retail category? And will it calculate as a different bid, or what will be the allotment status in the book?
Yes, so that is clear in the RHP. You can apply in both the category, and if you are an employee, you can apply in 3 categories, and it will not be considered as duplicate applications, and each will be treated separately based on the oversubscription in the respective categories.
However, Ashish, he needs to be very careful that when he is applying in both the categories, he needs to ensure that each application does not exceed 2 lakhs.
Maximum.
So he has to apply in the general category, that is the retail category, up to 2 lakhs, and in shareholder category up to 2 lakhs.
Okay, great.
So
Thank you
he
so
can
much for
invest
answering.
4 lakhs with 2 applications, and both will be valid applications, and both would be considered for allotment basis what is the subscription that happens.
Right, great. Next question coming from Mr. Chetan Ghira is asking, hi, are NRIs allowed to invest in shareholder category above 2 lakhs?
Yes, in fact, everybody, even an RI customer can invest into the shareholder category above 2 lakhs. Okay, but the only thing they need to understand is that if they apply in a shareholder category above 2 lakhs, then they cannot invest in any other category. That
Right.
means he cannot invest into retail or 2 lakhs and in shareholder more than 2 lakhs. If he invests into shareholder, like say for example, about 2 lakhs, say 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, whatever he wants to invest, then he cannot invest in any other category.
Okay, great. Let's see the next question.
There is a question that is it mandatory for retail to apply by UPI or simply with click in the HDFC Sec app? Yes. So you don't need a UPI whenever if you are a customer of HDFC Securities. Right?
Yes, correct. Even if you are applying through HDFC Securities, you have a 3-in-1 account. You don't need a UPI. It's a normal. You just log into your account, place the order, and that's it. Or you can call your relationship manager, tell him to place the order for you. Or if you have a net banking, you can go to HDFC net banking and place the order over there. So there is no UPI involved in these processes.
Now,
Right.
to address some other questions, I think SBI card holders don't have any quota. They will not get any discount. So that is clear. The next is because of the crash in the market, does the issue look overpriced? Now that is up to each one. I think the crash over the last 3 or 4 sessions, and by the time the IPO closes next Thursday, we don't know what will be the situation in the market. So each investor will have to take their own call, and the investment bankers and the issuing company would have taken this into account. Maybe not to this extent, but they would have certainly taken these unforeseen events into consideration when they fix the prices. Now, shareholder category cutoff date I mentioned 18th February 2020 is the record date. So, on the, is the date on which it should be in your account. Then you already answered a lot of questions. There are repeat questions. Let us take last 1 or 2 questions and.
Yeah, due to time constraint, we may have to, and then we'll have these emailed back to the customers, or we'll put it on our websites for everybody to come and take a look at it. So
Sure.
everybody gets the benefit of all. We have a huge
There are a lot of
questionnaire.
questions. Huh?
There are a lot of them.
Can you organize a short session on 2nd March also once so that you can easily apply? I am not a shareholder. I am not a shareholder in SBI. In which category should I apply? So you can apply either in retail or HNI, depending on how much money you want to put in. From the same securities account, can I apply in different categories? Yes. If you are a shareholder, you can. If you are an employee, you can. And if you are a retail shareholder, yes. Or an HNI, yes. So there will be 3 drop downs for shareholder, for employee, and for retail or HNI, or four drop downs.
No. There will be 3. There will be a general category.
Yeah.
When you click on the general, you will see the retail and the HNI.
Right.
So depending on how much you want to apply, you can apply over there. In case if you are an employee, you may want to click on the employee category and invest in an employee. And then you have the shareholder category, people having shares in their demat account as on 18th of Feb 2020 can apply as a shareholder category.
Okay. The other question is, I've got credited SBI shares in my demat account on 18th February in the morning. Then will I be eligible? Yes, you will be, because 18th February, towards the close of the day, you have the shares in your account, so you will be eligible. Then can a shareholder of SBI Life apply in shareholder category? No. Only SBI's shareholder, State Bank of India shareholder, can apply as a shareholder.
That is the bank.
Yeah,
SBI bank.
Not the life. Now, one question is, if I'm having 50 stocks of SBI Bank, how much lot can I apply? Is there any limit? Now, once you are a shareholder, there is no limit. Even if you are a shareholder of 1 share, you can apply to as much as possible. There is no correlation of your holding in SBI vis-a-vis how much applications you can make. Yeah, I think there are a lot of duplicate questions.
Important.
Let us take the last question now. I have SBI mutual fund in my portfolio. Do I come under shareholder? No, you don't come, because as we discussed, SBI bank shareholders only are shareholders for the for application. Yeah, I think most of the questions are being answered. So yeah, now can we wrap up the session?
Yes.
Sure. There are just few things I want to highlight, sir. As many questions we are getting in terms of we have missed out some part. Can I watch the recording again? So yes, definitely the recording link will be uploaded on the same link about an hour's time. You can access the entire webinar from the start after an hour's time. And same will be uploaded on our YouTube channel as well. So if you haven't yet subscribed, you can go to YouTube, type HDFC Securities, and you can subscribe to our channel. This video would be available on our channel as well. Right, and few queries we are getting, we do not have demat account, how can I apply for it? So for that, I would suggest you can simply connect with HDFC Securities customer care, sales team, or a relationship manager, or visit any of the nearest HDFC Securities branch. Right, we have also come up with digital account opening. So if you have HDFC bank account, you can open your account seamlessly, with a very quick turnaround time, and you can apply if you haven't yet opened your demat account. Right, so please take full advantage of it and go ahead with the account opening so that you can get more chances of IPO application.
Ashish, they need to understand that a demat account is mandatory when you are applying for an IPO.
That's right. That is why we were getting few questions. I have savings account. How can I apply for IPO? So for them only, I've already mentioned the current HDFC Securities customers can apply, who are already having 3-in-1 account, that's demat, trading, and saving. The ones who are not having and watching this session can connect with our sales team, can call up our customer care team, or can directly visit HDFC Securities branch to open their demat and trading account so that they can get the chance of applying for this IPO.
Yes, Ashish, but they can have the demat account anywhere. So even if
Yeah,
they have a
have some other demat account, that also
they can still apply through HDFC Bank, net banking, and place the order. I mean,
Absolutely.
if that is what they want to understand. But if in case if they do not have a demat account, then they need to get in touch with the nearest HDFC Securities or HDFC Bank and quickly open an account.
Absolutely. So I think that's all for now. Thank you so much. Thank you, Deepak sir, for joining. Thank you, Shamila, for joining. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all for joining, and I hope this
Wish you
thing,
all the best for
yes,
allotment.
and all the best for applying in this IPO.
Thanks. Bye.